The recent tragedy of the burning Brooklyn building, it was really sad. It's really sad story. Several children died. A lot of people died from smoke inhalation, breathing smoke mostly. I was really kind of shook up reading this story. Um, I don't know what to say. I was just really kind of disturbed. I read the fire was lasted about just under 2.5 hours. That's a lot of time to be burning, and people were putting towels at their doors and wet towels at the doors to prevent the smoke from coming in. A lot of people couldn't leave. They tried to open their window. They tried to. Some of them actually had smoke come into their apartment complex, so they had to basically get the smoke, just keep the smoke from coming to their bedroom by putting towel at the bedroom window. And a lot of children died. A lot of people inhaled smoke and died. This is a serious tragedy. They said it was started with a space heater, and they said the heat was on in the building. I often notice, especially these days, heat that's controlled by landlords. I'm not saying this is the cause of the fire or anything, but in a lot of cases, heat that's controlled by the landlord, especially with the cold temperatures they're experiencing in the winter right now, for a lot of people, the heat is not turned up very high. And I understand. I mean, we don't know the landlord or the owner of the building, what their financial situation is. I'm not using that as an excuse not to turn up the heat. I don't even know what the temperature of the heat was. I've stayed in buildings before where someone said the heat was controlled by the landlord. Maybe some of you are familiar with this, right? And the heat wasn't up very high. It's like you'd want to use a space heater. It was an accident. It was a defective space heater. I'm just looking at all these different variables. I want to say that I've been in places where the electric bill is high, and even for homeowners, like middle-class homeowners, the family is wearing 3 layers of clothing because they can't afford to turn the heat on every day. They turn it up really low at night. They might turn it up higher, but they can't afford to turn it up high every day for a comfort level, right? So I know this specifically, like on paper, a family who's worth 170K, right? In a major city, though. Of course, we know the expenses in a major city, and they couldn't afford to turn up the heat. So they wore 3 layers of clothing. And I'm sure this was the case too, right? Even though the landlord had the heat on, it's controlled. They usually don't turn it up really high. The temperatures are very low, so they're going to use a space heater. And a lot of people think space heaters are risky. A lot of people think they're not, or they're worth using. I mean, it's up to you. My thing is, it's just a sad tragedy that people died from it. I looked up more history on the building. They said it was built in 1972, so it wasn't really up to fire code. The stairs weren't up to fire code. They said they've had several violations of peeling paint and mouse and roach infestation on some floors. Again, I think that there are scenarios where the people who own or run the building may or may not be able to afford to maintain it. If they're not, I guess they should be responsible and accountable enough to sell it to someone who can afford to maintain it. If they can afford to maintain it, I think it's being cheap and a slumlord. Again, I'm just talking about the violations. Even though this is not directly related to the fire, this may kind of show how the building was being managed. I have no idea. It's all speculation, of course. I don't know anything. This is all based on what's been posted in media so far. I can say that they did say the building was pretty old. Well, kind of, yeah, built in 1972 and not up to the modern fire code. And I also think that if the heat was higher in the building, they may not have needed to use the space heater. That's neither here or there now. People have died. It's sad. It was encouraging to hear the governor of New York say that they're going to give the families some type of compensation. That was pretty encouraging to hear. But it's just really sad, just the fact that people had to die. You'd rather have their lives back than have the money. It's just that little children died, right? It's just, it's kind of, I'm really kind of bothered by it. I know I've mentioned it before, but I don't know why. It's just, I know why, but it's just not a good feeling. Young children dying, or anybody dying, even older people, of smoke inhalation. People haven't really done anything. It was a bad accident, and it hurts. It hurts to hear that. And I hope that maybe everyone who's read about this and seen this, if you own a building, or if you run a building, even if you rent out the home, make sure things are up to code. Make sure that you can keep the tenants warm if you control the heat. Another thing, again, it's not always the landlord. If the electric bills or the energy bills are high, that's another thing. Maybe that's more of a government issue or a local hydro or energy issue. I don't know. Again, I'm just pointing out different variables that could be indirectly related. This is just a really bad tragedy. I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just thinking of possibilities that maybe could have helped prevent it. Because it's really sad and it hurts to hear this news. But feel free to let me know what you think if you disagree. I know there'll probably be people that disagree or have a different angle. Feel free to comment or send me an email, and I really appreciate you listening. Thank you very much.